Alright guys, my name is Ace Reddy and let's talk about personal branding and I also want to talk to you guys about what I learned from the CardoneKern webinar. So up until now, right, like I think I've bought about every course that Cardone's ever launched. Because I mean his courses are just amazing. Okay, like they're just the best from what I've seen. And I remember I was broke and struggling when I first got introduced to Cardone. 90 days later, my life turned around. You know, like I was living a life of luxury 90 days after getting introduced to Grant Cardone's work, and that's why I trust the guy so much. Now, I want to talk to you guys about what I specifically learned from the CardoneKern webinar and how I'm using that in my business, and I'm going to give you the interpretation of everything, right, that I'm doing, that I've learned from that webinar. So, I want to tell you guys a story actually. So, like now I'm blowing up on YouTube, right? I'm making money from my YouTube, guys. I'm making more money from my YouTube account with 500 subscribers in it than a guy with 100,000 subscribers in it. You know, and not to mention, I probably, by the way, I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you these things so you guys know that I'm not talking theory here. I'm not really talking theory here, and I want you guys to know that. I have probably the most loyal Facebook audience in the internet marketing e-commerce space. You know, there's not a lot of people in the e-commerce space that have a loyal audience like mine on Facebook. You know, like there'd be a post in the ClickFunnels group or any other Facebook group asking who the e-com expert is, and like 30 or 40 people would tag me in sometimes. You know, that's how loyal my audience was. I have close to 9,000 followers on Facebook. I have sold about 13% of everyone that's on my friends list. So that's a lot of people. You know, I have filled the programs consistently. So when I launched my 21-day ecom challenge, I put 100 people into that challenge within a time span of 15 to 20 days, because that was a marketing period, maybe a month, I don't remember. When I launched my high ticket program, we sold about 36 people on that program, just using my Facebook account, okay, my Facebook profile. I made 6 figures in 90 days, in a 90-day period, just using my Facebook. No money on ads, no funnel, no sales pitch. And this goes against everything that people are teaching you, right? So recently I decided to conquer YouTube. So I started shooting a few videos. I'm making money here and there. There's people messaging me from freaking Bulgaria saying, "Oh dude, I really love your content. You know, and I really admire the fact that you are willing to teach us all of this cool stuff." Cool stuff, right? Now, I want to talk to you guys about how this webinar that I got impacted everything for me, right? And how it kind of transformed my business forever. So, I bought the webinar back in July because Frank Kern, who was one of the guys interviewing Grant, had, by the way guys, if you guys don't know Grant Cardone, Google the guy. He's a beast. Okay, like the guy's a fucking maniac. You know, like quite honestly, the guy's a freaking maniac. Anyway, Frank Kern's been a very respected internet marketer for a long time, right? He still is. He had this course called the Omnipresence course, and he was giving it away as a bonus to the the CardoneKern webinar. And I'm like, shit, I mean, Grant is funny, Frank Kern is funny too. This is going to be an entertaining webinar. Let me watch this, right? So I got the webinar and I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be fun. I'm going to watch this webinar, probably make a bunch of money with it. But more importantly, I was like, well, I might as well watch this webinar because it's probably going to be entertaining than watch Netflix, you know, because I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Now, I started to watch the webinar. The first 5 minutes or 10 minutes later, I realized that it's Grant Cardone. You know, with Grant Cardone, it's the same stuff that you hear again and again. You know, it's literally the same stuff. I didn't know why the guy was doing that, right? Like, I was like, okay, well, it's the same stuff. I'm not watching it. I shut down the webinar. I went back to like watch. I went and watched Netflix. I don't remember what I watched. I was probably watching Peaky Blinders. I was watching Peaky Blinders. There you go. I was like Grant Cardone or Thomas Shelby. I was like Thomas Shelby for sure. Boom. I was smoking cigarettes and watching Thomas Shelby. By the way, guys, do not smoke cigarettes, because now you gotta like warn people to not smoke cigarettes. So might as well do that. So I was watching Thomas Shelby, right? And 2 months later, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Let's open this deal up and see what's in it, you know, for the sake of it. And I opened the thing. I picked up the omnipresence modules. I like, that's not my style, really. You know, it's too planned out. It's too strategic. It's not my deal. So then I pulled up the CardoneKern webinar, right? I started watching it again. This time I was mind blown. I'm like, dude, like this is amazing. Like, what is Cardone talking about here, right? And this is just crazy. Now, the stuff that I learned on that webinar, right, which was, I think, probably around a 1 hour webinar, I have not learned anywhere else. And it's perfect, because in that 1 hour, you pretty much hear the whole marketing plan of Grant Cardone and the way that he's built his empire, right? The 10X empire. And I went out there, I basically took some of the information that I learned, I started implementing it. Next thing you know, I have my YouTube channel with 500 subscribers on it, making me more money than a YouTube channel with 100,000 subscribers on it. You know, and I posted that on my Instagram, right? And I'm like, okay, well, you know, my videos are now ranking on YouTube. I'm really happy about it. And this guy out of the blue decides to message me, trying to be a smartass, right? Because I mean, there's obviously people in this industry, guys, that, you know, I'm a pretty humble guy. You know, I don't hate on people. I don't do anything like that, honestly. You know, but like, this guy messages me and he's like, oh, Ace, you know, like your videos are good, but like you could be more professional. You could do things differently. You could do that. You could do this. I'm like, okay, dude, like number one, you don't know my audience. Number two, you do not know me. Like, why are you telling me to be more professional? Like, the videos are professional, bro. Like, I am, like, cause what's happening is now I'm moving to like this bigger place. I have a huge video freaking room. I have like the video equipment and stuff that I just bought. So like, I'm gonna move everything there. And you guys are gonna see like perfect background kind of videos and that kind of stuff. Like, you know, I might be even more entertaining like that, right? So anyway, so I was like, dude, like number one, I'm shooting content, bro. Like, focus on the freaking content. Like, why are you worried about how the video looks? You know, like, the guy's like, I'm like, I tell the dude, and I'm like, you don't know my audience. Like, I'm doing my deal. I'm helping them out, and my audience loves it. He's like, it's not about the audience, bro. Like, it's about looking professional. I'm like, well, dude, like, did you start a YouTube channel ever? He's like, no, I didn't have the time. Oh, he said he made up some bullshit excuse. I'm like, this is exactly why I'm making money from my YouTube and you're not. You're stuck in the details, right? Like, you're like, because he's so jailed by his own limitations, right? He's like, well, the videos need to be professional. If they're not professional, I'm not gonna shoot them. So by the time this guy comes out with one video, I'm shooting 7. Who's gonna win here? You know, last man standing. The guy's doing one video. I do 7, I do 10, I do 15, I do 25 videos. You know, I'm not doing bad videos either, right? It's just that I'm doing normal videos that are not perfect. The guy's looking for perfection. He's like, epic thumbnail, epic this. I had this convo with Emma Raid as well, because she has a great channel, tons of subscribers, people love her content, and she was like, how do you shoot videos in one shot, dude? Like, how do you do it? You know, and I'm like, well, you just turn on the camera, you shoot a video. And if the audience hates it, you shoot another one to replace it, if you want to. You know, but like why would you spend 3 hours editing a freaking video? Oh, all the other YouTubers do it. Cool. Why are you doing it? And it's like literally like it's bullshit. You know, everyone in the industry came up to me and they were like, oh, Ace, you can't sell anything with that funnels. For like years, I believed that shit. The first launch I ever did, which did 6 figures in sales, by the way, it was in the affiliate marketing industry. So it was a coaching program that I ran for affiliate guys. We did the first 6-figure launch in as less as 60 days. No one knew me. Like, not one person knew who the heck I was. Okay, we got a Facebook group together, no webinar, 0 webinars. We did 4 Facebook posts and did 6 figures on a launch. Okay, like no funnels. The guys that were telling me that, okay, you got to get a funnel together, they were shocked. They were like, okay, what is this dude doing? Matter of fact, last year in November, I launched a $297 webinar. All these guys were like, use a webinar, do a free webinar, sell stuff at the end. I'm like, dude, that's sketchy. Like, you're like, this is a fake webinar. There's no value in it. You know, you're just trying to sell people. That's marketing, sure, but like, there's no value in it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to sell my soul like that, right? Again, by the way, I have no offense against some of the people that do these kind of webinars, but like, I've done these webinars too. I've done webinars too, but like, I've never done a webinar with no value. Like, there's always something that you're going to be learning. You know, now some people do it the right way. I have a friend of mine called Carl. He does webinars. He does it the right way. He gives a ton of content away for free, and then at the end he makes a pitch. I could have done that, but what I did instead was I was like, well, look, if I'm giving away tons of content, might as well charge people to be there. Because I did a free webinar. Okay, I did a free webinar. There were a few people on it. At the end of it, like, no one took any action. I got 0 testimonials. I was like, unless people are going to put a dollar amount on this, they're not going to take it seriously. So I started selling the webinar for $97. Okay, for $97, I started selling the webinar. And guess what happened? I was getting testimonials left and right. Freaking Brent Shepard watches the webinar, builds a $200,000 per month business in a year. You know, just because now, if that was a free webinar, right? And Brent will probably confirm to us, even if he doesn't, he's probably watching this video and he'll know. Like, he's gotten access to a few of my other programs in the future. He's never, like, any program that he didn't pay for, he never used. You know, and that's just a normal game, right? When people buy for stuff, they value it a bit more. The guy paid for my program, that's why I valued it a bit more, and that's why I went and made money with it. He paid for 2 of my programs. Okay? Now, I was selling webinars. I had 3, next thing you know, I had 3 webinars. So I was like, 1 webinar on Facebook ads, 1 webinar on e-commerce, 1 webinar on finding killer products. I made $60,000 just selling the webinars, or $50,000 just selling the webinars. You know, and then I made another 70 upselling something from the webinars in a time period of 90 days. Okay, no funnel, no sales pitch. I didn't even have a freaking order for it. I was PayPaling people. Like, I was like, okay, well, what's your email? They'd give me their email. I'd send them an invoice. I'm like, well, clear it. You know, and all these guys on the internet, they're like, okay, well, you know, this is the accepted standard way of doing things. Why don't you do it that way? I'm like, no, like, there is no accepted standard. You do things the way it works for you, and you do things that help people out. That's simple. Like, my webinars for helping people out. I didn't want to do a course. I didn't want to be a sketchy guru. I did what I got to do. And it worked. Right? It worked. Now, the point of that story is, just because everyone else is doing something doesn't mean you have to do it too. Because it doesn't mean that it works for sure. Okay, just so you guys know. Because like, you gotta have your own way of thinking. You gotta have your own strategies. You gotta come up with something that's your own style. You know, like my friend Bobby Stocks, he probably does like $250,000 a month just selling high ticket stuff. These guys, they don't even use a webinar. They don't even have a webinar. They send the traffic to a VSL. That's awesome, right? It's a VSL. It's a 20-minute video. I'm like, dude, like everyone else is trying to talk about webinars. How are you making money sending traffic to VSLs? He's like, well, I've never done a webinar, so I never did it. I'm like, so he either Bobby's a super ignorant guy, or Bobby's a genius and he's onto something. I like to believe that Bobby's a genius and he's onto something. You know, he doesn't even know how to put. I don't think he ever put a webinar together, not once. You know, the last time I asked him, that's what he told me. He's like, I've never done a webinar. You know, so that's why I never did a webinar funnel. Like, I've done video sales filters, so that's why I'm doing that. You know, now back to the point. Let's circle back to personal brand. So when you're building out your personal brand, right? Here's a few things that you need to remember. Back to the guy with the YouTube story. I asked the YouTube guy, I'm like, do you have a YouTube channel? The guy's like, no, right? And he's like, I have to put so much work in. This, guys, is why you got to remember that quantity of value will beat quality of value every time. So if you had to choose between quantity and quality, I would go with the quality. You know, make sure that the content that you're sharing is good. You don't need a $50,000 camera to get things done well. You know, I'm shooting this from my iPhone 11 Pro Max. You know, because this thing is fast. I can just move around and I'm like sitting here shooting videos, talking to you guys. You know, I don't even care. Like, I don't have a suit on. You know, I'm just talking to you guys, right? Now, here's a few tips that I'll give you that I've learned from the CardoneKern webinar that I've personally used. Number one, talk to your audience. If your audience is speaking Spanish, you can't talk English to your audience. You know, like, because there's a disassociation, right? And in the same way, if your audience speaks a certain language, don't speak against that language, unless you want to change an audience. So for example, if you start talking about entrepreneurship, there's an audience that's going to like entrepreneurship. And if that's the audience you want to go after, make that decision and adapt to them, right? And that's what I've always done. So like I would post memes on Facebook that people would love a lot and stuff, and I would always speak the audience's language, right? The words that I would use, the slangs that I would use, and also some of the stuff that I talk about, the stories that I share, were always in core alignment with what the audience is looking for, right? So that's number one, talk to your audience. So once you choose an audience, understand their language and give it to them, right? That's number one. Number two, looking bad or looking good doesn't matter, just get looked at. Cardone tells, like if you go look at Grant Cardone's videos in the beginning, right? He was shooting videos off like a laptop, guys. I'm serious. Like pull up his old videos. Like the quality of these videos were crappy. You know, like he just had this laptop or a computer and he was just shooting it through the webcam. Like there was no professional equipment. And slowly he grew out into this place where he was doing the Cardone zone in like a orange colored setting, and then he grew it out a bit more, then the setting looked better, and now he's got like an ultimate setting. So it's more like it doesn't matter where you start. Like don't beat yourself up over, okay, well I need a super good studio to start shooting videos. You don't. You just need to start shooting videos. And slowly you can upgrade to that point. Because at the end of the day, people care about content, not how good you look. People don't give a fuck about your long hair, you know, like your short hair. No one cares. No one cares, guys. You look bad, you look good, no one cares. Just get the content straight. Now, I gotta say, guys, looking good has its benefits. Okay, have a nice background, do whatever, but don't try to perfect it. Okay, don't try to perfect it at all. Number three, don't do specific target marketing. One of the things that you gotta study about Grant is you will never see Grant doing, you know, target niche marketing. Like he's never talking about, okay, well here's an ideal client getting, here's only marketing, I'm only going to talk about e-commerce. He talks about a wide range of topics, right? He's got real estate stuff, he's got sales, he's got motivation, he's got relationships, he's got that kind of stuff. The idea is he wants people to see him. Right? He wants people to know him everywhere. He's not doing ideal target market stuff. Because some guys are like, I only sell to rich people, so I'm only going to talk to rich people. Other guys are like, I'm only selling to the middle class people, so I'm only going to talk to middle class people. Now, if you look at the way that things are working, you will realize that the guys doing the niche marketing stuff, they're not really getting a lot of attention. People like Cardone are getting a lot of attention. Okay, and that's something that you got to understand that's really freaking important. Okay, so like go a bit broad, and this is something that I've been doing as well. I don't just talk about e-commerce because that's my niche, right? So like that's my vertical, but I also go broad to cover a wide range of topics. So now other people that look at me, they're like, okay, well, I could do e-commerce stuff, right? So now I'm more of a guy trying to sell the dream of entrepreneurship, so I could link e-commerce with hitting that dream. And that's the way that I'm building up my personal brand. And that's what you guys should be thinking too. Because you don't want to be focusing on just the guys doing e-commerce. That's a small segment of the market, right? You want to be focusing on like all the other guys that are not doing e-commerce and finding a way to move them to e-commerce, right? So how to start a social media ad agency, how to do that, how to do this, like get more topics flowing, you know, get more info flowing. 5, it's 6 people watching your videos. So like Grant Cardone, when he got started, okay, and I've been doing some research, he only had like 1,000 or 1,200 views on his videos for like a long time, okay? And a lot of these views too came in after he blew up. So apparently he started off with 6 views on his channel, and he's like, dude, it's 6 people watching my freaking video, right? Because and this happens to me naturally, because I don't know why, but like for me, like, I just see people a different way, right? For me, it's like, if I have like 150 views on my channel, that's 150 people. I am freaking happy. I don't care whether it's 1 view or I don't care whether it's 10 views. It's some person watching it, right? That's some person that I'm helping. Some person's watching it. That's how I always looked at it. That's how Grant Cardone looks at it, and that's how you should look at it too. Because it's very easy to get locked up in numbers, right? And that's what happens to a lot of YouTubers. They're like, 100,000 views, or 50,000 views, or 30,000 views. And this is why they're not able to sell anything, right? They have a channel with a ton of views on it, but no money. How do you explain that? Well, I'll tell you how. They don't treat people as people. They're treating people as a bunch of numbers. That's why they don't make any money. For them, it's all metrics. 6th, there is no such thing as oversaturation. One thing I've learned from business and life, guys, is to stay in your own lane and look at your own goal, right? You set a target, you look at your target, and you keep going in your lane. You don't look at what the guy next to you is doing. Oh, okay, well, the competition is too much. The saturation, it's saturated. Drop shipping is saturated, Ace. You don't understand. No, it's stupid, I do understand, because I'm shooting videos on dropshipping and Facebook ads that are blowing up right now. There's a lot of people watching these videos. There's a lot of people buying courses in the e-commerce niche right now. How do you explain that? If the whole dropshipping market is so saturated, how do you explain that? Because the thing is, for me, like when I'm running a business now, right? Because I had to learn a lot of things from experience. So like for me, it wasn't just like, okay, well, let me learn something from Gary Vee, or let me learn something from Grant Cardone, and just accept it. That's what the other guy was doing. The guy that messaged me on Instagram about my YouTube channel, that's what he was doing. He watched a few Gary Vee videos, and he was like, oh, okay, this is awesome. I watched this dude's videos, right? And I'm like, okay, because I don't want to be a dick. I want to genuinely see if this guy knows what he's talking about. I watched one video of his, and I'm like, he's copying Gary Vee. How do you expect? Because you know what? Here's the deal, guys. You will resort to tricks if you're being inauthentic, right? If you're trying to copy being Gary Vee, if your language is like Vaynerchuk, if you sound like Vaynerchuk, if you're doing things like Vaynerchuk, you need to have some tricks up your sleeve. Because no one's gonna fucking look at you if you don't have any tricks, right? Because like they're like, okay, there's nothing unique here. It's like looking at Vaynerchuk. Like, we might as well go watch Vaynerchuk. Like, why am I watching this dude? This dude's a fake. By the way, he's a nice guy, probably had good intentions, he's a smart guy, he'll learn. But like you can't impersonate another marketer like that. And then expect to get a lot of results. Now obviously, if you're doing that stuff, you need to incorporate tricks in there. That's the only way you could move the train. I'm just keeping it real. If you're authentic, you have your own style, you have your own vibe. Like me personally, I'm ace ready. Like that's what I fucking am. I am ace ready. I am doing my deal. I'm not copying Grant Cardone. I'm not copying Gary Vee. I'm not copying Frank Kern. I'm not copying any fucking influencer. I am ace ready, and I'm playing me. So when you guys come and watch my videos, you already know what the heck you're looking at, right? It's like a long hair dude talking about marketing and sharing all the content that he has very generously without holding anything back, right? And that's what you're getting with the whole Ace Ready brand. I don't need to use tricks. I don't need my whole professional camera setup because I'm being authentic. You guys watching the video, you're like, because I've had this happen and many people message me about it. They start watching one video of mine, they watch all videos of mine because they're like, this guy's the real deal. That's because I'm authentic, right? That's because like I have a lot of value to share and I'm not playing tricks, So that's something else you need to know. 7, promote, and assume that nobody saw it. Cardone has this fantastic motto. He's like, assume that nobody has seen it, like nobody saw it, right? So when you shoot videos, guys, I don't know about you, but me personally, when I shoot videos, I'm looking at my videos and I'm like, okay, dude, this is terribly wrong. Okay, there was something off here. Okay, shit, why was I looking to the side in this scene? Thing is, guys, no one cares, nobody saw it. So nobody saw it. So one of the things that would happen a lot for me is I'd watch my own videos and I'd be extremely critical. Okay, because I'd be like, okay, well, I did something wrong here. I look a bit weird here. I don't know where I was looking at when it comes to this scene. Because I can get a bit nervous on camera, guys. I mean, I'm not really a camera guy, you know. So like, that would happen a lot, right? So Cardone's motto is essentially, nobody saw it, so don't worry about it. You know, like if you're doing one video, nobody saw it, do 10. I don't care if they're imperfect, just do 10, just do 20, just do 100, so more people see it, right? And that one thing alone changed everything for me, because now when I'm doing a video, I do something wrong, I don't shut off the video, I just shoot it, and then I shoot another video on another topic, because nobody saw the first one anyway. Yeah, I had 100 views, but nobody's seen it. Nobody's seen it. There's 8 billion people on the planet. Not all 8 billion people are going to judge you. That's thing number one. Thing number two is if there's any imperfections in your video, right? The only guys that are going to judge you are the people that will never buy from you and that are serial fucking haters. Okay, these guys hate on you 24 fucking 7. These are the only guys that are going to judge you. No one else. Okay, and I'm telling you, because I used to be the guy that would judge people. I had a terribly pessimistic mind back then. I would not even be that person again. Okay, because I'm telling you from my personal experience. Everything I'm giving you here, guys, is from personal experience. Okay, now the ninth thing is something this is my tip, right? Which is learn from the field. Okay, don't sit on the back and watch a bunch of courses, guys, because that's stupid. Learn from the field. How do you learn from the field? Two methods. You either go back and study the other players that are running the deal, or you go and you learn from your own stuff. So one way to learn YouTube, and the way I got onto YouTube was I called a friend of mine, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's go research every top YouTube channel and see what they're doing that's working for them, right? So I called her, she's like, oh yeah, I'm on it. So we get on this call and I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And I'm like, okay, well look, this video has 1 million views. Why? This video doesn't have 1 million views, even though it's on the same channel with the same number of subscribers. One video has like 100,000 or 200,000 views. The other video has 20. What's the difference? Okay, what's the difference? Then I started to realize something very important about YouTube. The videos that worked are the videos that promoted a certain outcome. That was very desirable, right? That was mass desirable, I would like to say. So, for example, if a video is about how to make $100,000, that will work. But if the video is about how to overcome uncertainty, not a lot of people are going to watch that. Okay? Unless, of course, you're in that niche. And this is something that Grant Cardone does extremely well, right? If you look at Cardone's videos, he's got 2 types of videos. This is something that I've studied from Grant. He's got what I call as a brand awareness style video, and he has an indoctrination video. And he has, so these are the 2 different types of videos, right? And then he would sell on both these videos because that's his deal. The way that his brand awareness videos work are they're all about how to make $1 million, how to do that, how to get rich, how to be prosperous. These are all meant for a cold audience. Okay, and everyone that doesn't know Grant is not going to watch this and be like, okay, well, this Grant Cardone guy is interesting. Then he's got the indoctrination videos, which are more about how to overcome uncertainty, how I deal with problems in my business, how I do that. And these videos, right, the indoctrination videos, as I like to call them, are for the pre-existing followers to know Grant even more. You know, that's it. That's his formula. Okay, so he's got the brand awareness videos, pushing stuff out, right, getting attention. Attention-getting videos, that's what I'll call it, not even brand awareness. He has videos for attention and he has videos for indoctrination. So once he gets attention from someone, then he pushes the content of how to overcome uncertainty, how to do that, how to do this. mindset related stuff, and people are watching his content, are freaking glued to it. And then they're like, oh, I think I know Cardone. I gotta buy something from this guy. And that's genius in my opinion, right? And one more thing is, guys, like one of the main reasons why I like Cardone a lot is because his methods are very duplicatable, okay? Because like, I know a lot of people, right? And they say things like, well, look at this YouTuber. He's only got 10 videos, but he blew up. You only need to get 10 the right videos. Now, the problem with that is this works, by the way, this works. I'm not against that. I know a ton of YouTubers that blew up with a few videos. It works. However, the problem is when you're shooting 10 videos, you better get fucking lucky with any one of those, you know, or you gotta be a freaking genius to make that shit happen, you know. But when I'm doing stuff and I'm shooting 100 videos, maybe 1,000 videos, maybe 10,000 videos, I don't have to be a freaking genius. I could be stupid. You know, I make one video, I make 2 videos, I make 10 videos, I make 100 videos. I'm learning. You know, I'm learning from the field. I'm taking in data. I'm like, this worked, this didn't work, that didn't work, this didn't work. And not just that, now I have 100,000 videos, right? So what do you want? 1 out of 10 chance in getting lucky? Or like, would you like a 10 out of infinity chance of getting lucky, or 100,000 out of infinity chances of getting lucky? Because for me, like, the second part you can control. You can always do more videos, right? The first part, it's not really in our control, guys. You know, you got to get lucky for that to work. And that is why most people fail, because everyone's trying to chase after the first guy. They're like, we'll get the perfect videos together. It works for 1 out of 1,000 people. You know, but with the other system, no one's using it. So whoever's going to beat the shit out of that system is going to make it work. As long as you can adapt, as long as you can learn, as long as you can process data, and as long as you can manage these social media influences the correct way, right? Now, with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know we went on for a bit too long, and I'll see you in the next one. This is one video of the Ace Rants. All right, see you.